Hello, and welcome to a post about my relationship with the internet. What I have learned in my many years of life on the internet. It's called Survival of the Fittest Social Network. Which will survive and which will not? In my recent interactions with the internet, I've learned a number of things. I wrote a novel and watched the guy who plagiarized my book gain 90,000 Twitter followers over the course of a week for no discernible reason. He gets only a few likes on the things he posts, so the followers are clearly fake. In comparison, a truly famous author like Anne Rice, who posts regularly, she has 180,000 followers. This post has links to a bunch of other articles I've written about things that have happened to me on the internet. And one of those things was I published my book on Amazon, and 4 months later, it was plagiarized by a guy who bought followers and reviews, and it was just ridiculous. I recently saw something almost even more shocking. I watched a man recruit workers for a no content or low content publishing business on Amazon. He was literally constructing stories made of gibberish and posting them on the Amazon KDP platform, which is a subscription service. And he was earning $25,000 per month. And the reason is that you get paid by this platform based on how many pages are read of what you post. And it seems that there must be bots wandering around reading all of this content, even if the content is gibberish, which is what he was deliberately posting, and he's making money off of that. Amazon's got to get on that. I also watched a video about a guy who spent 250 euros to get 25,000 fake Instagram followers. He was then offered 3,000 euros by a collection of marketing firms to promote their products. That's not sustainable. Advertising agencies need to get on that. Another thing that happened is that I visited a chat room with 250 members and came to the conclusion that 90% of the posts came from an advertiser with 15 sock puppets. This was a mom's discussion group on Facebook associated with the college I went to. It was supposed to be a private group with only people that we knew there. When I first joined it, there were only 20 people, and then a couple years later, there were 250. Many of the members of the group did not seem aware that their friends were actually bots who were advertising audiobooks and baby thermometers to them. Facebook needs to fix that. I also recently read about how Amazon sellers, people who sell things via Amazon, they use Facebook chatbots to cheat their way to good reviews. Basically, you can have a free cell phone charger if you leave a 5-star review for these products. That's what the chatbot gets people to sign up for, and they automate it so it's really easy for them to do. So these are some big problems, and I hope they solve them before they blow up in the style of 1999. I read a post on Twitter recently by someone named Casey Newton. He wrote, "Mark Zuckerberg posted a link to my story to 117 million people yesterday and got 58,000 reactions, an engagement rate of 0.05%. A Facebook follower truly ain't what it used to be. This fits with my experience. I basically stopped using Facebook quite a while ago. And it seemed like around the time of the election, people just dropped out. They got overloaded. People had been posting their political views, and then when politics didn't match their expectations, they just basically said, well, this concept is trash. And this whole social network as a method of being politically engaged, it's worthless. And so they probably went out and tried to do things in real life, I imagine. My kids today used TikTok, and now a Chinese company knows everything about my children. When I protested to TikTok that my kids were underage and I wanted their profiles deleted, TikTok requested more identifying information from me in order to complete the request. That shouldn't happen. Neither should a child be able to go on the internet and suddenly accumulate hundreds of followers. That's not good. My husband, he plays a video game called Clash of Clans and has had lots of conversations with his friends on the platform. The game was recently sold to a Chinese company that now knows more about my husband than I do. Meanwhile, I've started a WordPress blog, and I've found that it doesn't facilitate fast networking. As in, I'm not accumulating followers at a lightning clip like I did when I joined a site like Quora. As in, my posts don't get distributed very widely, and I have to do work of reaching out to other bloggers to get links forwarded. But maybe that is WordPress's strength as well as its weakness. It relies on real human interaction rather than on an algorithm to determine distribution. And it also seems to limit the possibility that all of my wonderful distribution on Quora might just be distributed to an audience of bots. I have no way of knowing if all of the view stats correspond to real people or not. So after all of this, the question that remains in my mind is, how long will it be before social networks start charging people to have their profiles deleted? What a mess. I'm sure somebody else has worried about that before, but since I like to mix things up, I am going to conclude this post by singing a song about our love affair with social networks. It's called, or about our love affair with the internet. It's Hooverphonics' Mad About You. I wonder if I can do this justice. Probably not. Feel the vibe, feel the terror, feel the pain. It's driving me insane. I can't fake, for God's sakes, why am I driving in the wrong lane? Trouble is my middle name, but in the end, I'm not too bad. Can someone tell me if it's wrong to be so mad about you? Mad about you. Mad. Are you the fishy one that'll give me a headache in the morning? Or just a dark blue landmine that'll explode without a decent warning? Give me all your true hate and I'll translate it in our bed into never seen passion, never seen passion. That's why I am so mad about you. Mad about you. Mad. Trouble is your middle name, but in the end you're not too bad. Can someone tell me if it's wrong to be so mad about you? Mad about you. Mad about you. Okay, that's one song about the internet. The other one that expresses my feelings about relationships with social networks is The Sundays. Here's where the story ends. People I know, places I go, make me feel tongue-tied. I can see how people look down there on the inside. Here's where the story ends. People I see, weary of me, showing my good side. I can see how people look down, I'm on the outside. Here's where the story ends. Oh, here's where the story ends. It's that little souvenir of a terrible year which makes my eyes feel sore. Oh, I never should have said the books that you read were all I loved you for. It's that little souvenir of a terrible year which makes me wonder why. It's the memories of the shed that make me turn red. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Crazy, I know, places I go make me feel so tired. I can see how people look down, I'm on the outside. Oh, here's where the story ends. Oh, here's where the story ends. It's that little souvenir of a terrible year which makes my eyes feel sore. And whoever would have thought the books that you brought were all I loved you for? For the devil in me said, go down to the shed, I know where I belong. But the only thing I ever really wanted to say was wrong, was wrong, was wrong. Here's where the story ends. Oh, here's where the story ends. And that is the end of this post. Thank you for watching. Until next time.